Welcome back to another video. Today we are working on the E30 because we got a lot of work to do still on this car, but we're gonna make a lot of progress in this video. I just recently got a lot of parts in for the car. I got the electronic gas pedal in, so we are gonna be installing this in today's video, getting the, well actually, if everything goes right in this video, the engine should run. I'm gonna try really, really hard to get the engine to run in this video. I'm still waiting on the fuel pressure regulator. I do have the fuel pressure regulator, but I don't have, it came like this, and I need the thingy that houses the fuel pressure regulator. Like I said, hopefully this engine will be running in this video. I'm gonna try my best. If not, it will definitely be running in the video after this. I also have the EKP module that I needed to get. This is the relay, the fuel pump relay for the E46 M3. It's a special relay. You can't use a regular fuel pump relay unless you get your DME tuned to the Euro spec DME, because everything is US spec for me. I have an EKP module, so that's what I had to get. That module was like $120 for just that stupid little thing. Parts are adding up fast. This shit's starting to get expensive. And I have a E30 temperature sensor, which we will also be putting on in today's video. So this is the brown top temperature sensor. This is for your gauge cluster. Because the gauge cluster doesn't communicate with the DME like it does in an E46 M3, so you need an independent temperature sensor in this car. So we will be mounting this just like that, and then this is for the E30 temperature sensor, and that will plug in there just like that. So then we'll have coolant temperature for our gauge cluster. Now that being said, we got a lot of work to do on this car. I gotta figure out everything going, oh, and I have to put the valve cover gasket on, have to tighten down the valve. Oh, Jude, you know what I just forgot about? I don't have any coil packs. We're gonna get to it. I think the first thing I wanna do, I wanna go under the car and tackle some of the stuff. So I'm gonna have to jack the car up, and then we're gonna have to throw the slave cylinder on, and then I'm probably gonna throw the drive shaft on and everything while we're at it. I'm gonna hand the camera off to Jude, then we're gonna get to start doing some things. But before we do that, I gotta run to the bathroom because I got one poking out right now. You know what I'm saying.
Guys, we're gonna try not to swear as much. We saw a comment.
Oh yeah. We're gonna stop trying to swear as much because it's bad for the YouTube algorithm. Can you get off the jack? God. So unfortunately, to jack the car up, I have to take my radiator and my oil cooler off. So I'm gonna whip that off real quick.
Fired. I don't get paid. I don't got it like I used to. So then I gotta get worried about being fired. That's actually fire, dude. Not a chance, dog.
I had to go grab a sweeper real quick just because there's so many cobwebs under this car. I gotta slide the slave cylinder on, so there's two 13s that hold this slave cylinder on, so we're gonna slide that on. It's already bled out. I'm not gonna go and re-bleed it, but I'm gonna slide this on, then we should have a working clutch. It's so tight under here. Guys, me and Jude are both under this car right now, and
the lighting is fucking terrible.
The lighting is terrible.
There's no reason for any of this.
There's no room. I don't have the car jacked up high enough. You guys can't see anything what I'm doing, but here we are. This is our dedication that we have to bringing good content. I'm tightening down the bolts to the slave cylinder. We have the clutch slave cylinder in, so it was already bled out, so we didn't need to previously bleed it. So I just slid it into the transmission. Now I have a working clutch pedal. So I think what we're gonna do is now we are going to lower the car down, and then I'm gonna take the throttle pedal out and the throttle cable out, and we have to figure out how to mount the E46 drive-by-wire throttle pedal. All right guys, so I'm gonna start removing all the stuff for the throttle pedal now. Yeah, I made this little aluminum plate. It's like wider than the stock pedal, so it makes it like, sits like that. And then it's a bit wider than the stock pedal, so it makes it easier to heel toe downshift. I'm gonna take this pin out right here. I have to take this off to fit the throttle pedal on, so this will just spin out of here just like this. All right, so I have everything removed. Now I can get the gas pedal like almost where I want it. It sits like there, pretty good. I think that's like a good spot for it. I think that looks good, Jude.
Yeah, great.
I'm going to get a Allen bolt that will go down like in there, because we can't have a regular bolt. We have to have something like an Allen bolt, and it'll go down, and then I'm just gonna have to pretty much drill a hole through the floorboard. So that's what we're gonna do. We are going to have to drill a hole through the floorboard. Unfortunately, I'm gonna get a nutsert and then put it in there with a rivet gun. So it's like a piece of metal that goes in. Yeah, you'll see. Guys, I have the throttle pedal here, and like the one bolt that we want to go down through here and go down like through the floor so we can like bolt it down needs to be like an Allen key, because you know you can't get a socket on that, so it needs to be like an Allen key bolt. I didn't have any that I wanted to use or any long enough, so we're at lovely Home Depot again, and we're gonna walk in up in this bitch.
My favorite place on fucking earth.
Wait, like guys, I build cars at Home Depot. This is where I come to build cars.
You don't have your wallet.
I know. I literally just went to feel my pockets, and I'm like, I don't have my wallet.
Forget your wallet like to that extent.
Oh, that's perfect. Look at that.
That looks so shitty.
Look at that. How does that look shitty?
How fucking dumb that looks.
That looks perfect. Look.
Put that in your fucking car.
Look, it'll slide down in there just like that. Go down there. Drill a hole through the floor. Put a nutsert in there. It'll be good. All my. I think it's gonna be the next time we pick up the camera and see you guys. I think it's gonna be tomorrow. We'll cut to that right now. Today's the next day later. I spent some time diving into more of the wiring side of things and trying to get all that stuff figured out. So where we are right now, you guys have watched a previous video when we installed the harness. You guys know that the motor cranks right now, but I don't know if I'm getting power to the DME, or I don't know if the DME is turning on. I have everything in the glove box right now. All the wires are in there. It's an absolute mess, but if I go to take the key and put the key in, and turn the key on, we have power to the car, and you can actually hear, I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to hear it, but you can hear these relays click. So we know that there's power going to it, and everything is plugged in besides this connector, which this connector is for the fuel pump relay. This is the signal for the fuel pump relay. When I was converting the harness from SMG to manual, I accidentally cut this, and I need to figure out where these pins go back. But that's my main goal right now, is to get the DME power, or to get the throttle to work, because right now, you know, power's onto the car and the throttle pedal still isn't responding. Still, my goal is to try to get this thing started. I want to hear this thing run so bad.
Many hours later.
I took the entire harness out of the car. I have the O2 wire harness, I have the engine harness, and I have the jumper harness for the car. It's all out and everything is plugged into the DME. I am trying to figure out one wire. I did this all to figure out like one wire and like to get an idea of how everything's gonna lay out. But like I said before, when I went to modify my SMG harness into a manual harness, I accidentally cut this connector, and this connector I think is the brown. I'm concerned about the brown or the black and violet wire. This wire, I know where it goes. That's just power. It can go to any black, white power. And I have the pin out things for all the DME, and I'm on the X6002 connector, and that's pin number 11. Signal fuel pump relay. I need to wire that back in, and I'm gonna get that wire back in. So I need to pull that connector out, find pin 11, and then we need to put the black and violet wire into pin 11 in that, and then take this guy and throw it into any one of these white and red power wires. I'm gonna get that pulled apart, and then we're gonna get to some soldering. Fix my fuck up, LOL. All right, hopefully that's a better camera angle for you guys, but I'm gonna be laying down the solder. I have my gun here. It's hot now, so I'm just gonna get the wires in together. And just like that, the solder is made. Now I'm gonna take my heat shrink, and then we're gonna slide the heat shrink on over, and then heat shrink the heat shrink. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna repeat the steps for the next one, and then we're gonna throw the harness in the car. Now this is ready to go in the car. I'm probably gonna wrap some electrical tape over it a bit and clean it up. Before I get to that, before I get to installing the O2 harness and the jumper harness, I'm going to throw in the engine harness. So I'm gonna get the main engine harness installed. And with the power of YouTube magic, it's gonna be installed in 3, 2, 1, bam! And just like that, the engine harness is all installed. We have the engine harness installed. I have the jumper harness installed. Everything is ran into the firewall. So I'm gonna throw you guys up on my tripod here, and then probably gonna throw up like a little time lapse of me plugging all this in, because it's a mess and it's gonna take a little bit. So that's what we're gonna do. I have everything plugged in. Everything is ran except for the O2 sensors, which I have to run these through the glove box. But I'm just gonna leave them for now, because for the first start, we really don't need O2 sensors, because the car doesn't even start to read the O2 sensors after it gets a certain temperature. I have everything plugged in, and if I did everything right, the fuel pump should prime, and hopefully there's power to the DME. And if it's not working, I think that means that the EWS hasn't been tuned off of it, which would be a really big bummer. Fingers crossed. Little bit unfortunate. When you put power to everything and you have everything turned on, you should hear the idle air control valve buzz, because like there's power going to it, and that sets like the idle air control valve to a certain like percentage, and you should hear that thing go like bzzz. I'm not hearing that right now. If I turn the key, I hear the main relays click. I don't hear the fuel pump priming. All right guys, so I just had to run to the shop real quick to grab the scan tool, because I'm gonna plug it in, see if the DME is throwing any codes for like communication or something like that, and why, or like if I can't even communicate to the DME, like if it's getting power. And I'm also feeling a little bit tired, so got some Red Bull, 0 sugar. So we're gonna try plugging this thing in, because I just heard this. Oh, there we go. We got power. We got power to the scan tool at least. I don't even know what I'm gonna put this car in as to the scan tool, because you can do like auto select and it'll like read all the modules in the car, and it'll be like, oh, this is a E46 M3. But it's not. I can't wait for Red Bull to sponsor me. Let's go to BMW. Go to diagnostic, E-Series, 3 Series, E46, connecting, 1 moment please. Please connect. Individual system search, drive, engine DME. Please connect, please connect, please connect. Oh, there we go. Ah, fuck. I don't think we're getting power to the DME or something like that. Something is wrong. Something has to be wrong. Something has to be wrong with the power or a ground, which I gotta go through this all again, figure that out. All right guys, I'm coming back to you, and I think I found my problem. And I'm also coming back to you with even more Red Bull. Real simple, don't overthink it. Run over and check all your grounds and all your powers. And I'm like, all right, let me just start with that. Checked all my powers, and I have a cut wire right there, which clearly needs to go to power. So, and there's a spot open for it right there. So I'm gonna put that to power, and we're gonna see what happens. So again, I have to pull everything out. I just have to pull the O2 harness out this time. Then we're gonna solder that on, get some power, and see what happens. Fingers crossed. I hope this works so bad. So, all right guys, have everything plugged in now. So all the plugs are into the DME, and that one power wire, I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see it. We do have power going into that plug now, so I'm nervous. I'm gonna take my key. We're gonna plug it in. Fuel pump just primed. Let's go, let's go! Woo! I don't know if you guys heard that, but well, you can see the fuel on the floor. Hopefully it didn't get on my fresh paint, but the fuel pump just primed, and I heard the throttles actuate. So we got power to the DME now. Now, if I take my throttle pedal and then squeeze my throttle pedal, you guys can see the throttle body's moving. Everything is working now. The DME is getting powered up. All the relays are switching properly. Fuel pump relay's working, everything's working, so I'm super happy right now. I wanted to show you the functioning sport mode real quick. This is the sport mode button. So what the sport mode button does is it makes the throttle response a lot faster, and it makes this engine feel like a beast. Like if you guys have driven an E46 M3 and you put it in sport mode, like the downshifts are just fucking insane. You touch that throttle and it goes bam, bam. I'm holding the throttle pedal at like 15-20% right now. And if I punch the sport mode button like this, you guys can see, so there's sport mode off, and then there's sport mode on. Sport mode off, sport mode on. That is going to make a huge difference in driving. Like it makes driving that, like, I'm at a loss for words right now. I'm so excited because tomorrow, when Jude gets here, hopefully Brandon gets here. We haven't seen Brandon on the channel in a while. It's been like 3 weeks. This thing should start tomorrow. Everything goes right, this thing should start. Today's the next day later, continuing work on this thing. I got 2 towels sitting on it just because I don't want to scratch the paint, but I made a list of everything that I have to go over, so you guys can see I have some stuff pulled off. I have the headers pulled off right now, the beauty covers off the valve cover and everything. I have the Vanos oil line to do, I have oil and oil filter to do, I have to put the oil cooler back on, I have to put the fuel pressure regulator on and the headers back on with the gaskets and the spark plugs and the coil packs and the cam positioning sensors. There's a decent amount of stuff I have left to do, not that much. I actually don't have coil packs. Hopefully I can run up to Jude's house and then take the coil packs off of his car. A lot of this stuff, it's just simple little tedious stuff I'm gonna do off camera, but for right now, I'm gonna set up a little like time lapse or something like that so you guys can see what's going on.
But this is our S54 oil filter. Pop down there like that. Then you want to put on your new O-ring right there. Make sure to oil that up.
Alright guys, so I have about 6.5, 7 quarts of oil in the engine right now, and it's showing close to level on the dipstick. So I'm gonna throw a little bit more in, and then we're gonna crank the engine, fill up the oil cooler with oil, build up oil pressure, and then see where our oil level is at from there. So I think what I'm gonna do now, I think I'm gonna wait till Brandon gets here and then should be able to start it up. We're about to start the car right now. We got Brandon here. Brandon, say hello. That's wild. We're about to start the car, but I don't have any coil packs, so we're running over to Jude's house, and we're robbing him blind.
You gotta let him know we're in the P car, though.
Oh yeah, we are in the P car. Yeah, we're gonna go rob this kid blind, and then tomorrow morning he's gonna go to start his car, and he's gonna be like, my car's not starting, my car's not starting. And I'm gonna be like, oh no, somebody robbed you. We out in the P car, we pulling up in the P car, and we're robbing this kid. We are robbing this kid blind. All right, Judith, I'm sorry I have to do this. Oh man, that one was tight. He ain't gonna know what hit him. We're gonna put this on to make it look like we never took anything. Just like that, we gone, he never knew what hit him until he goes to start his car. And then you think, oh, they're driving a P car, they aren't robbing me. Ha! We're gonna throw the spark plugs in right now. I just got some NJK and NGK Laser Platinum Premiums. Woo! All right, spark plugs are in. So the coil pack's in, fuel line's on. Bleed out the fuel system. We should be ready to start it. We should be ready to start it. Oh, fuck. God damn it. Oh, there's glass. Oh, look at this, dude. Oh, right on the battery charger. Fuck. I don't know exactly what's gonna happen. I have all the stock stuff hooked back up without the fuel pressure regulator, and I'm gonna try to start it without the fuel pressure regulator. So, we're gonna see what happens. Alright guys, so the thing is starting, but it's not staying running. As soon as it catches, it dies. You know, I think this is a sign that I need to wait in next video, we'll have everything properly sorted out. I personally think the EWS isn't properly deleted off of the DME because I think that's what they do. If the EWS isn't deleted, everything will start, but it'll run for a little bit and then it cuts fuel or it cuts ignition. We know our problem. It's got to be the EWS because the thing doesn't let itself run long enough to even generate any codes, because I tried plugging it in with the scan tool. It's definitely seeing that it's not reading the key and then it's wiping itself off completely. It's like, nope, no power for you. Next video, when we do next video, guys, I promise this thing's gonna be actually properly running. And I'm gonna take the DME down to Nate's and then have him run over everything and make sure that I'm not, I'm not going crazy and that the EWS is, or like still is on there and needs to be deleted. You live and you learn. Here we go. We're living and we're learning right now. But we did make smoke. It did start, kind of. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna end it here. As I always say, dream so big it's scary. Peace out, and I'll catch you in the next one. Boom.